I'm waiting until it says it started on YouTube before I start saying the introduction. So if you're seeing this recorded, that's why I haven't said the introduction yet. Because we're waiting on you. There we go. Okay. Is it actually working? Yep. Okay. I'm gonna mute myself on my phone, just making sure it's working. Okay. So hello and welcome everybody to another live interview. We're doing this now. Every so often. Um. So welcome to episode 177. I know we skipped a number. That one's recorded. It'll be coming out this week. Or if you're seeing this recorded, then it'll be coming. Then it came out last week, and there wouldn't be a skip. Anywho, welcome our lovely guest.
Oh,
Uh, so how are you doing today, Mr. Mana?
doing all right. I'm doing all right. Just tired from work. It's been a long day, and tomorrow's going to be going to be an even longer day because I start at 8 a.m.
I bet. I bet that is very hard. Sorry, I'm also sending the link to people who were asking and putting it in the thing so people can see it. So I'm multitasking it as I am asking.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Fuck, where is it? Where did it go? Ah, it went fucking somewhere. Uh, no, that's not it. That's something else. Death battle. My cat wants attention. Um, where the fuck did it go? Oh, is it in important stuff? Yes. Okay, there we go. We had a rehaul of the Discord server, so I got confused where shit was. Okay,
You're
is it?
welcome for that, by the way.
Yes, I do appreciate it. I just got very confused because it was in a different spot than my brain was used to. Okay, now I'm
Yeah.
gonna post this here in the self promo thing, so we can see how many people were kicking from the other server. Uh, okay, yay. Okay, so now back to the stuff we were doing. Actually, here I'm also gonna post this here, just so. Oh, you already did that. You're on top of it. Awesome. Okay.
Yep.
So
Yep. I had it all planned out. Don't worry.
awesome. Okay. So now we actually fucking start all the other nonsense. So
Yes.
this is a very weird one. So because the recording comes out after the next interview, but this also comes out. But we're recording this and live streaming before the next interview. It's real fucking weird. So if it seems weirdly jumbled, that's why, and mixed in with the other one, that's why. I'm sorry. But um, so have you ever been interviewed in this capacity before?
Not that I can think of. I mean, I've had like spoken to high level people. I've never had done like an actual interview like this, unless it was for a job.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to introduce you to this side of the world of interviewing. Um, so next up. So again, I'm gonna it's gonna be weird wording for some of these. Um, today and technically Wednesday and the week after that, because it's when this recording comes out, we'll be talking to some commissioners to the artists and kind of who they would recommend, commissioning to from their past experiences and like how to kind of go about it as well. I hope that makes sense and isn't just a jumble of words. And people,
That makes sense.
or
Hey,
one person who's watching, maybe still. Hello, Nicholas, if you're still watching, or it's just counting myself. Um, yeah, we'll just go over that, and we'll have fun. And people in the comment in the chat while this is live can ask questions. I'll keep an eye on it. Hello, Typhoon. Speaking of the person who's next week. Um, okay. Uh, real mixed up and jumbled in my head. So, how many different people have you commissioned for artworks so far?
different artists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. I'd have to check that. I would have to say it's around maybe 20 artists I've commissioned for various things.
Oh.
Obviously, some of the famous ones, Kuro the Artist,
Mm-hmm.
um, ORAsh, RCO, Archway RCO, Hotline Carbon,
Mm-hmm.
Sky Nix, Action Jack, Crystal Moon 101.
Mm-hmm.
That's off the top of my head, but I have a list somewhere, but I can't find it. Yeah.
Awesome. So far, of all the people you mentioned, we only interviewed one of them, um, which was Jack, and that will be somewhere when I'm putting in the thingies. Obviously, if it's live, just go fucking watch it. But if it's not, it'll probably pop up here ish. Eh. Or it popped up or it will pop up. I don't fucking know. But the next question is: would you rather eat Cheetos or any type of cheese chip, or go on a hike?
How long is the hike?
As
Where am I going?
wherever you want, as long as you want, and as far as you want, wherever you want. I do not care where the hike is, nor the
Am
type
I
of
alone
cheese chip.
with people?
The question was this or that. You can take it however you wish. You can bring a life-sized Chester Cheeto with you on the hike. I do not care. Whichever one you want, with any circumstances you want.
I'm not much for hiking, but if we broaden that definition of a hike to include maybe just a walk,
Mm-hmm.
a slow walk with some friends, you're just having a chat, you can just relax. I would say the hike or walk, depending on how you want to word it, because it's like
Yeah.
there's only so much you can do with eating Cheetos or any kind of cheese chip. But
Mm-hmm.
with like hiking or walking, you can be gone for like 2, 3 hours, and you're just like, you know, talking about life, reminiscing, remembering,
Yeah.
and that's where all the good stuff is.
Yeah. 100%. Um. Excuse me. So something that will be touched on later this week and or last week. Fucking who knows. At this point, but there is a current role play going on between you, a few artists, our next comma past guest, Typhoon, and it's present and past tense is gonna be real fucked up in this interview. I'm sorry, and my cat knocked over a giant plushie. Okay,
He's
but
a future podcast.
yes, exactly. The future podcast guest will be as of live streaming future, as of recording past, as in posting past. It's time is weird. Anywho, are part of like this role play thing for all your different original characters and such. Tell me a little bit about that and the kind of like the journey that you're able to tell about, because will and did talk about future. Maybe I don't know. Just go before I start babbling into a circle again.
Fine, it's fine. Honestly, the role play just started as something for all of us to do. It was just like something fun we could do with our characters, and just playing our characters out, trying to develop our characters, trying to develop what our characters are like, how they talk, how they act, and putting our characters in scenarios that we couldn't think of ourselves. Like two heads are better than one, and there's about 10 of us together. So you can imagine how much we're thinking of there. And it all started off like we all have like art of our characters, all done by the amazing OR Ash, of the Ink
Mm-hmm.
Tank, and we all love his work, and we all wanted to like enjoy the art for what more than what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, and we wanted to enjoy our characters through one of the best means, storytelling. And it's not the easiest trying storytelling on your own, but when you're doing it with other people, it's more enjoyable because you can bounce ideas off of each other. You can
Mm-hmm.
create these scenarios, and like you can just have fun with it. You have your heartfelt moments, you have your action filled moments, you have your just plain joking moments, and we have all of that.
Yeah.
And we started the role play back in, I want to say November, December last year. That was the first role play,
Hmm.
and we were doing that for maybe 2, 3 months. We drew that to a close, and then we started a new one. We just kept adding more and more people because a lot more and more people started hearing about it, got interested in the story,
Hmm.
and we all just enjoyed our time with it. And our characters are all so different from each other, but are all similar at the same time because they're all based on Ben 10, and um, we all have like a root like connection of what our characters are based on. So they're all similar, but all very different at the same time.
Hmm.
And the interaction that they would all have because they've all lived very different lives.
Yeah, and I've joined the server and I am barely there, so I have seen a lot of these different characters and heard about a lot of their different struggles throughout their days of
Mm.
heroing, villaining, all that fun stuff. Something I did also notice is that sometimes the roleplay does the other way around, where it creates ideas for you to commission either to Mr. O.R. Ash or to other people as well, which is something I've kind of noticed. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? What do you think on that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's definitely been moments when we were doing the role play that have spawned some amazing art, and whether that's drawn by people who are actively in the role play or commissioned artists. Like for example, recently, Archway Arceo commissioned one of his aliens to Elmike,
Hmm.
a very famous artist in the Benton community, very much known for drawing aliens in the classic art style, which is iconic.
Hmm.
And that just spawned something. And then I've commissioned my own characters. You've commissioned your own characters. So
Yeah.
it's just these little moments. A picture tells 1,000 words, so we can describe it. Actively seeing it drawn just feels so much better, and it's so much more satisfying seeing what you've written come to life.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with that because like just the uh Omnicast the Omnicaster, their picture looks like a combination of Gwen and Charmcaster from Omniverse. Says that they love roleplay, which I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
when I first joined, I've been doing roleplay for fucking years. Um, with a bunch of different people, mainly with my friend Rose, which she you people know her from episode 100, fucking 77 episodes ago. Um, but yeah, and also it gets to spawn in almost like genre mashups in some way, and also just like fandom mashups as well. Mainly with from what I bring to the table, with it's a fusion of Ben and Charmcaster. Okay, that makes sense. Uh, Bringing in Springtrap, a version of Springtrap into this makes it uh, to where some of the art gets mixed with what Five Freddy's have done. Like I know that's something not weird. The word is not weird. Something different added. I don't know the wording, but the role play in general is just a great way for lots of different people to come in and even add to the story as well, and even try to change up the story from rewriting it sometimes as well. Um,
Mm.
like what's going on with like Springtrap right now with the stuff, but yeah. Uh, So, what do you think about? Because like you're, at least for the server, I don't know for the full roleplay story, you are one of the head honchos of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because with like it's important that with the story we can keep it organized. And I think it's me, Archway Arceo, Cheats and 9000X, and Typhoon, uh, your future past
Future.
guest. We all organize it. So we make sure we can get people involved, make sure we get the characters done in a certain way, make sure it's all organized. We set the characters in certain scenes, we make sure we have everyone involved, and after that, it's making sure it's written up properly because we do want to eventually put this into like a book novel type setting where
Hmm.
someone could just pick not pick up we would send it to you, You could just like read it like a story, and you can have all of these characters, interacting in such a massive setting.
Hmm.
And I think the beauty of it is that because there's so many of us involved, it's not like we're all. It's not like it's one person trying to organize all of it at the same time, because that would be hell. Like trying to get one person trying to organize like 15 different characters for heroes, villains, and then all the other countless background characters, it
Hmm.
would be impossible. So having so many of us involved means that we can ease the workload on any one person. So we can write the characters that we know truly.
Hmm. Yeah, like that makes a lot of sense. And with this, with the plan of possibly making it into a novelization form, and passing out to people who ask and stuff like that, and that the group and okay with and so on and so forth. How do you feel about adding more like canon characters from other fandoms, like with Springtrap? How do you feel about people trying to add those into it?
I feel it can work because the good thing about this is that you can choose canonicity of the story to your characters. Like
Mm-hmm.
the story isn't canon to everyone's characters. Sometimes we just use the story to build up our characters and to consider them in scenarios that we couldn't think of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put your character in there, you can take your character out, you can choose how they're written.
Yeah.
So, it's very easy to insert characters into the story as long as it's balanced and one character doesn't take over the story entirely, because
Mm-hmm.
then it's not really like a shared story. It's kind of like one person story with everyone in the background.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been uh in role plays like that where it's like the main character, and then if you're not in their group, you're very much a side B, C, D, E, F, G character. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's something I do appreciate with what you guys are doing, is that you do allow a lot of people to come in and help and be a part of the story and not just be a side of the story.
yeah.
Hmm. Well, next up is going to be how many different original characters do you have as of right now?
Original characters or like um characters like rooted like in other things.
Let's go with both. You,
Both.
yeah.
All right. I'm actually just counting them right now. 12, 13 original characters, and that's including like character mashups and fusions and whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a
Like,
lot of
some of
characters.
them are like straight inspirations and interpretations of characters that already exist. Some of them are fusions, and some have like very loose interpretations. Like my tricks I see Kenneth Tennyson you know is kind of based on like characters that Johnny Storm and Stark from Marvel. But
Hmm.
then he's also still somewhat based on Ben, but it's very much a different kind of story because it's not set in America, it's set in England, so it's a very different telling of the story because events would happen differently and upbringings would be different, so the story would just evolve differently. So it it might sound very similar to an existing concept, but it's just completely different. It's just, the
Hmm.
only thing that is similar is the name.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Like
Mm.
sometimes just changing the setting of a story can change it drastically.
Exactly, exactly.
Mainly when you look at
Yeah.
like the different like DC storylines where like Superman crashed in Russia or something, stuff like that, instead of
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Kansas, I believe it was, in Smallville. It just
Yes.
different locations cause different events at different times, which is very interesting to me.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So
Mm.
next up is going to be um close that. Da, 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 have you ever thought of dressing up as any of your original characters before?
I've never been interested in cosplay
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know. It just feels. I don't really. I don't want to sound lazy, but it just feels like a lot of work, and it's like getting all the stuff together, trying to build the stuff, trying to make it set up in a certain way can be
Mm-hmm.
very expensive as well.
Yep.
And I've seen cosplays when when you go to like conventions, when you go to Comic-Con, and I applaud the people that put in the work, but I just couldn't do that all myself. Like if I had like I don't know 2 or 3 people working with me to do it, then sure, but I don't know, I just couldn't do all that myself.
Yeah. I Trust me, I'm looking at two Spider-Man suits next to me and fucking Jean the pain in my ass right above me too. And even though these are just from Amazon, they were not they were not cheap either. Uh, and Typhoon says, "What are you talking about, Mana? You're cosplaying Kenneth right now."
Um, Typhoon, if you're still listening, shut the fuck up.
Oh golly, he might be. I mean, the number didn't go up or down after he said that, so um,
Typhoon, you're a bitch.
just bullying the poor next guy. He says no you.
I'm not looking at the chat description, so I have no idea what he's saying.
Yeah, I am. He said no you.
Uh-huh.
But next question. Omnicaster's getting a kick out of this. So next question is going to be coming from one of our past guests, a Mr. Zoom underscore 2028. Bacon question mark.
Love bacon, can't get enough of it.
Mm, good, you're an official American then. Um,
Ew, you disgust me. I'm British. Also, isn't it Canadians that love bacon?
that's Canadian bacon. That's a different thing. That's like a ham.
Mhm.
They just call it
Right.
bacon. Next up is going to be why are those two questions out of order? That's bugging me so much. Okay, from the same past guest, a Mr. Zoom underscore 2028. Peanut butter question mark.
Love peanut butter, crunchy over smooth, but I will still eat smooth if it's there.
Hmm. Awesome. Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, next up is going to be bacon and peanut butter question mark combined.
Never tried them together, but I would be willing to just to see what it's like because I've heard it's one of those things where it sounds horrible, but it's actually delicious.
Yeah, I've tried it because I asked this question so much. I actually like that next a few times ago when I actually had bacon and I actually had peanut butter. I was like, and I recorded myself doing it because I asked this question all the fucking time. Uh, and it was fine. It it was definitely one of those weirder tastes, but it wasn't bad. It was perfectly good. I mean, I ate it like how some people do like ants on a log type of thing, just spraying the peanut butter over the
Yeah.
bacon, not dipping the whole
Wait,
piece
wait.
of greasy
Did
bacon
you
into
did you
the
say
jar.
did you just say spraying peanut butter?
Spreading
Okay, I was gonna say, how can you spray peanut butter?
very very carefully. Um, but shit, Typhoon had a question for you from his interview, and I need to look at it. Hold on.
Uh,
But while I do that, oh wait, no, I remember it now. Hold on, I remember it. So, see, Omnicaster agrees. They love bacon and peanut butter. Um, I do remember it. So, this is coming from a future guest, uh, future comma past guest from Typhoon on his interview. So Mana, why are you so interesting? is the word he used. He clarified it with me later, but we're just gonna keep it with that.
That just feels like a vague question.
Yeah, it is.
You're going to have to clarify that.
That's literally the wording he said. So later on, he clarified of I'm trying to think if we should go into this or not. You know, no. Why are you so interesting, man? Huh? Why? Tell me why. Do it.
Okay.
Typhoon wants to know. I'm pointing out my phone, even though I should be pointing over here.
Just DM'd me what he actually meant, but I don't know if I can say it. Um,
I love that he
I mean,
actually just DM'd you
messed
right now.
like, can I say what he said?
No, I know what he said, so just yeah, you can. Go ahead. Yeah.
He's asking. No, it's like most of the time I just do it for jokes because it's funny, and I don't know. I know it's very easy for me to laugh, and I enjoy it because it's funny for me, and it's funny watching other people cringe.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I really enjoy that because it's like they're thinking like, what the fuck?
What the
It's
hell
like
did he
that
just say?
reaction from them is like pure gold.
Yes, I agree. I definitely concur with that. Uh, and that's why you're such an interesting person. You make people laugh with cringy humor, and we're gonna leave it at that.
Not just cringy humor. I also like dark humor, but I know that's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, depends on the level for me, but still. Uh,
Hmm.
but
I would say not necessarily my humor isn't cringe, but it just makes people cringe because it's very fucked up.
mm, that's a
Yeah,
valid point.
because
That is a valid distinction.
it delves into very much cursed, and
Hmm.
you know not a lot of people like
Yeah, I've seen
it.
some of
But
them.
it's
Ooh,
hilarious. It's hilarious.
yeah. But next, oh, Omnicaster also loves dark humor. Uh, man,
Hey, my guy.
but I so I'm using a list and kind of like altering it. And does your OC have a story? Well, we already fucking covered that past me. Thank you very much. Uh,
I should
but
say thought of yes, written no.
yeah, that there is a clear distinction. Do they have them?
Yes.
Yes. Is it somewhere I can read it? No. Not unless you can read mine. Uh,
Oh, please,
uh
if we could, you know, if we could read minds, we would never need to write stories because we could just like show people what we think.
yeah, exactly. And there'd be no misconception on what it means either.
Yeah. Although I fear the person that chooses to read my mind because, well,
It's very interesting.
yes,
Uh,
that's what
so
we're going to use.
yeah, that's the word we're using today because that's the one he used in the interview. So that's what we're using. Um, so this is something that I've always been kind of curious about. So why do you go by Mana and or Mana Writer over the social medias and all that fun stuff?
Because Mana Rider is it literally just came from a commission I got from Kuro like 2 years ago. It was literally the concept of what if an Anodite was possessed by the spirit of vengeance, Ghost Rider from Marvel,
Oh,
and as literally all I said. I gave him the concept, and he drew it out for me. And I was thinking you had to have like a very metal look, very gothic leather
mm-hmm.
look, like how you imagine like Ghost Rider to be when his head
Yeah,
isn't on fire. And it literally just spawned, you know, probably one of my favorite commission pieces because of the detailing, the background, the colors, and it's just something that has stuck.
yeah,
And so you get mana, which is obviously life energy, and some people call it the soul, or you know in Ben 10. Then you get Ghost Rider. Put them
yeah,
together, Mana Rider.
yeah. Awesome. I wanted to ask because I know we do have some Kamen Rider fans as well, so we wanted to clear that. It's not a Kamen Rider reference, to my dismay. Uh,
I've never seen Kamen Rider, by the way, so
yeah. One day I
it
will
wouldn't even be
force
a
it
reference.
upon him. One of these
You can
days.
try.
There is an anime of it now.
I don't watch anime.
Oh shit! See, neither do I. So I was like, everybody watches it except for me, and that'd be easy. Anyhow, uh, next up, no questions from the peanut gallery as of yet. I'm checking time, making sure because I have to do it. Um, do, 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 do. Okay, so trying to think of the best wording for this. So obviously, you love all of your commissions you have gotten, various degrees, so on and so forth. Don't need to go into exactly, but who has given you the best experience as a commissioner so far?
What do you mean by like experience? Like, the design process? Do you mean like,
The whole
how they
kit and
how
caboodle, the whole kit and caboodle. Like 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 which artist or person you commissioned, in your opinion, had one of the best, like you've had one of the best interactions with so far?
because with some artists, I interact with them outside of the art, and that definitely builds up a relationship I have with them.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the artists have, oh, I wouldn't even say some. All of the artists that I have commissioned are very friendly. They are very easy to work with. They're very much easy to commission. Very easy contactable.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there's some things I want to commission that not a lot of people want to draw because most people hate robots, and I really do want to commission a Cybertronian at some point, and trying to find someone to draw that is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But of everyone I have commissioned, it's never been difficult. Sometimes it's slow, but I don't mind waiting because if it's you know if it's slow, that means they're taking their time. They're not trying to rush it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if it takes longer, that means I usually take that as a good sign of it will turn out good.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite artists I've commissioned is Chum, previously known as Jayan, and his art style is amazing. Like it's just the shading, the lighting, the way you know the the coloring on the character. It just feels like so perfect for the art style that I like, and it just brings it all together. Um, Arash is another favorite artist because it's fun seeing him like draw it in real time,
Mm-hmm.
like seeing his thought process. When it comes to sketching, when it comes to the line art, the shading, the the background. So
Yeah.
it's fun seeing it come to life slowly. Um, I'm trying to think who else. You know, Kuro the Artist, another classic. He's a very chill guy. He obviously does all the stuff with the ink tank, and 5 years later, and we're all a big fan of that. So,
Yep.
and when he's drawing commissions, it's fun to see him bring your ideas to life. Whether you want him to stick to like a certain script of your idea, or you offer him free reign. And I prefer to give an artist free reign because it's interesting to see how they bring your idea to life with very little information. Because you know I can't draw. I can't draw to save my life. So it's so what I can't do, I pay people for.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, and I know that I've enjoyed commissioning 98% of the people I've commissioned before, and I still talk to 98% of all of them as well. So, yeah, I completely agree with you on that.
I would say
Mhm.
sometimes the experience can be somewhat disheartened by the fact that some commissioners are so busy. So
Mhm.
it doesn't really like put me off, but it's like they're so busy. When will you get a chance to commission them? Which
Yeah.
can be a pain. But I suppose that goes to show how good of an artist they are, because so many people want to commission them. It's difficult for you to do so.
Yeah. 100%. That is definitely a good marker of how how popular they are and how good they are at what they do. Um, I know recently, somebody I commissioned, Diesel, who you already know, did just do a Cybertronian for somebody else. I don't know. I just want to point that out. But next up is going to be. Let me look back at my questions real quick. I keep on going back between questions and the
It's fine.
chat in case anything pops up. Game phone's 8%. Good, 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 good. So out of your original characters, which it might be hard to choose, but which one is your favorite one, either just in general, and then also which one is your favorite one to roleplay as, just to bring that back into this.
Hmm. I'm just looking through my commissions now. I think yeah, they're all very different from each other, and it's hard to put them because I roleplay them for different reasons. And you know, Kenneth is very easy. I like to play as him because he reminds me a lot of myself. He's kind of like me, but everything is kind of dialed up to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's Elizabeth LT, and I like her character because it's based on some of my favorites from comics. The Scarlet Witch, John Constantine from DC.
Mm-hmm.
Because like those way the characters are like somewhat kind of unhinged, but also incredibly intelligent, witty, and you know they've always got a plan.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to consider how they would tackle certain issues because you know it's difficult to think about yourself because you can't really think of a scenario to put them in until someone asks you. So that's why I like to role play as them because someone else would propose the scenario.
Yeah. Hun-
Hmm.
yeah, I 100% agree.
Hmm. There's also a character that I recently commissioned to Archway Arthur called the Time Stalker, and I really like playing as him because he offers this different look because he's not a normal grounded character. He's this grand, not champion. He's this. I don't even know the perfect way to say this. He's this creature that lives outside of time because he tried to kill a god,
Mm.
and he's destined to just to watch the multiverse spin out in its in its entirety because he felt he couldn't. He thought that the universe shouldn't put their faith into false gods.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because I've seen so many interpretations of that kind of character, and I wanted to uh, write one myself. And
Mm-hmm.
trying to piece together the different character concepts, how they sound, how they act, how they move, how they speak. It's you know once you got the idea in your head, you can't like not hear it once you've like got it like pinned down.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I know at least like recently there have been characters like that for two different Marvel projects, being Doctor Strange Supreme and Gore the God Butcher from Thor: Love and Thunder, both going after false gods, seeing the universe burn and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
Um, but it is always amazing to see similar concepts done differently. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I always
yeah.
love seeing that. And I know we've talked about that type of thing before with because like my favorite thing is like Venomized zombie versions. If you watch Ruby, like Grim versions, like so on and so forth. Just taking these characters
Oh,
you love and just turning them corrupted, evil, so on and so forth.
oh,
That's just one of my
I love
favorites.
that too. Like, venomized characters, corrupted characters, possessed characters, controlled characters,
Mm-hmm.
because, it just twists these innocent characters into something that isn't themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And even taking away from like the purely physical aspect of their design, it's how that character is changed from what they were and what they turn into. Because when they are you know controlled evil, they would do things that they could live to regret and they could never recover from. So
Mm-hmm.
it definitely works out to be a form of character development. Can they get through this? Can they overcome this? Can they live with themselves after everything they've done?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's definitely something that is difficult to walk back from. And you never know, maybe a character loves being that. They love being this twisted, corrupted version of themselves because you know, being a villain is so much more fun than being the hero.
Yeah. I again, I completely agree with that. Like, sorry, I accidentally turned off my phone when I was supposed to be using it for the chat thing. Um, yeah, I like I've said, I those are some of my favorite concepts to me. Mainly when it's like the character who's supposed to be like the white knight type of thing just turns corrupted, evil, either throughout story progress or just like in a AU where he's now a villain or he got turned into a villain because of XYZ. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why like most of the pop figures I have around my room is Venomized, Zombie, stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I have a ton of Venomized Pop Funkos.
Yeah,
So I love the concept.
yeah, my
Mm.
one of my favorite things, I have to say.
I know. Speaking of Venomized, I know there's an artist on Instagram called Bahi Ibrahim. He
Mm-hmm.
does some amazing designs for Venomized Ben 10 transformations. He's done the whole classic playlist. Now
Mm-hmm.
he's doing, the second playlist, and the designs are just so creative, and his art style just fits the concept so well.
Yes, I've seen some of his stuff. It's really cool. I love seeing. I mainly like the Nur aliens. Like
Um,
Blitzwolfer, Frankenstrike, Snarrow. I love all of that. Like the monster, also like the monster,
yeah,
transformations as
yeah,
well. But kind
yeah.
of on the topic of of that combining two different canonical fandoms into a thing. What is one that you would love to bring to life one day, like or commission out to other people? Like, what is one that you would love to? What are two fandoms you would love to like combine in a story or something like that?
I've already combined a few fandoms. Like, I work on stories with my friends. I've got a Ben 10 and Marvel one, a Ben 10 DC, Ben 10 and uh, Transformers Prime. Um, one story I would like to really delve into, maybe Ben 10 and Invincible,
Ooh.
because seeing the show last year, I know it was only 8 episodes, but it was like the writing was brilliant, the art style was brilliant. I love the fact that it didn't shy away from like gore and characters
Mm-hmm.
getting killed, maimed, injured, and I can imagine like a very much darker setting for Ben 10,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel it would fit, certain characters, certain tropes, certain villains, and wouldn't maybe not necessarily. It could even be like just taking the raw concept of the story, or even actually crossing them over, seeing how you know characters like the Guardians of the Globe would fare against Kevin or Gwen or any of the characters, because you know it's fun just to think about, because like we've all dealt with like Avengers and Justice League crossing over,
Mm-hmm.
um you know putting fusing characters like, I don't know, Captain America and Superman, uh
Yeah.
Amalgam Comics did Batman and Wolverine. So it's interesting to see how these characters would evolve in these different stories, because it wouldn't happen like exactly one to one, like you drop you know Iron Man in the DC universe. It's not going to play out exactly how it would, because he's such a prominent character. Everything would change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%. Like I agree. Like I love the amalgam comics like you were talking about, but then there's also the Infinity Warps ones that Marvel did just by themselves, almost combining all of their main heroes into one character by the end of it. Sorry, it's been out for a while. long enough that there are pop figures for it. So, but yeah, it just that type of thing is just always like amazing to see. Like just either fusions from like different fandoms, like a lot of like the characters I've been making for Ben 10 alternate Omnitrix users. You know, mainly the ones I've been doing for that, but yeah, just the thought and like how they would react and everything that I completely agree that is just always fun to see. Um, so since my phone is going to die soon, and I won't have access to my questions, I'm just going. We'll kind of just start wrapping it up a little bit. Um,
Can't you just send the questions to yourself?
I have them, but then I have to open them up on my computer, and it's a whole issue. But actually, we can do a few more. Actually, I think we have time. I think we have time.
There's such a thing called a charger. Maybe use that.
You know what? That's a good idea. I should have thought of that. But so this is coming from a past guest as well, a Shannon Carruthers. You're going to be the star of a movie. Who would you want your co-star to be? And what genre of movie would it be?
No idea. The co-star would depend on the movie and what the genre is. I think, uh, I love the superhero genre, so maybe something with there. But I don't know. I feel like that genre is getting a bit oversaturated now. Honestly, there's just like so many options to go with. Maybe like a comedy thing, and just like you know, two guys having a laugh. Just enjoying life, enjoying their daily adventures. I can imagine maybe someone like, hmm, why is it when you need to think of people, you can never think of them? And it's a massive pain in the ass.
It is.
If I
Very.
can think of it, I'll let you know. But right now, I am drawing a blank.
Hey, that's completely okay. Sometimes it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Um. Okay, so next up is going to be coming from a Harley F. Quinn, one of our past guests. What are those?
The, there's a Horus there. There's a Marvel and DC crossover painting, which depicts them sitting at Jesus's Last Supper. Um, it's a pillow, sofa, a chair.
Awesome. We both have Horus on screen at the same time.
Yeah, you can tell how much we are fans of the Ink Tank.
Yeah, we it's like we just both have them right there.
Mhm.
So another speaking of the ink tank and also like some Ben 10 stuff as well. I heard that recently you went to one of the only, if not the only, Mr. Smoothie locations. How was that?
That, ever since I knew I was going to Dubai for my family holiday this year, I knew I had to go to Mr. Smoothie. I knew I had to, experience it myself because I know, I would be one of very few people to, take photos, take videos, especially recently because I think the last time there was photos, it was maybe like 5, 6, 7 years ago. So, you know, they're very like old, grainy photos, and I think I just wanted to experience it myself, see what it was like, and I was able to. It's like in the middle of a holiday after I did my skydive during the morning. I
Mm-hmm.
met up with a fellow patron of the Ink Tank who lives out in Oman. He drove to Dubai to meet me, and we went to Mr. Smoothie, um, and it was like so like cool seeing it like in real life. Like I can imagine that if only if it was like a real like smoothie chain, but I would definitely like always like go there. Even outside of the fact of like, it's from a show that I really enjoy, but like, smoothies, food,
Mm-hmm.
all great. And it was fun like seeing all like how they stylize it, how they um do the interior because it's all like inspired by the show, and it's just unfortunate that it's only in Dubai because I know that if it was in like in England or in America, Australia, so many more people would go,
Yeah,
and because it would draw like so much attention.
yeah, 100%. I feel like there would be like a whole 20 to 22 shops and a third one that just pops in and out of reality. Uh, but yeah, like I definitely agree because like I saw some of these pictures and videos that you took of it, and it looks really cool on the inside, and I do agree that it's kind of a shame that's there's only one out in the world that we live in right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah, I feel like if they could have made a chain at, I feel like if they added Mr. Smoothie earlier in the show, they could have brought it to more areas because then it'd be like, oh, it's from here to here, But I don't know, I don't
Mm.
know. But
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
yeah, um, but oh, that was something weird. Okay, thank you, phone, for giving me a weird notification about nothing. Um, so next up is going to be here. Let me look at the other list real quick. Let me see if that'll help kind of spark some ideas. That Make me write the whole fucking word. Okay. Um. So, for how long have you been commissioning these artworks out to people?
Say maybe only the past like 2 or 3 years because that's only when I started getting more into fandom stuff, and I think especially through the pandemic when I started to be more active on Discord, where a lot of these artists are, it's
Mm-hmm.
become much easier to commission them because I'm actually talking to them.
Yeah.
Uh, I still remember my very first commission. That was back in like 2019, and that was um, take it back. It was actually of a corrupted character, and it was so much fun because I had the idea for the story like for ages, and I wanted to see it come to life, and Kuro the Artist did an amazing job on Gwen Freak, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say it's been about I don't know 3 years since I've started commissioning artists, and I've been doing it like a lot more now. The only thing stopping me is you know, I don't know what to commission artists because there's so many ideas. What do I choose from?
Yeah. I definitely agree. And my next question is actually going to be like, what is one of the ideas you're hoping to commission to other artists in the future, or if you have like a certain commission you want done by a certain artist that you just haven't been
There,
able to
there's
do.
a ton of commissions. I say I want to do a Cybertronian. There's like various vehicles I want drawn. Sometimes I just get like random ideas for stuff that I want to see because it just sounds like a cool thing in my head. Like one thing I imagined an apoplectian effect with gamma radiation wearing a red lantern ring.
Damn, that just sounds like anger.
Literally, it's literally just anger, and it would just sound like such a it's a stupid concept, but it's fun, and
Yeah.
I could never use. I don't know if I could ever use that in a story, but seeing that, just like see, I'm just gonna throw that at someone and see what they come up with because let their mind completely just go nuts with it.
Yeah. Like one of the first things that kind of came to my mind was the in Heroes United when Ben used Wrath and he like flexed and like his muscles grew. That just like that, but like 16 times bigger, being gamma radiated Hulk type of thing. That's
Yeah,
just the
yeah,
thing. That's like one of the things that popped in my brain.
yeah,
Man,
yeah.
uh, man.
I get you.
But yeah, I completely agree. Like, I have plenty of ideas that like I wouldn't, like I don't have the means of making a story for them, but I still want them to be like commissioned and stuff like that. Um, and have like different versions of them from like different people and all that fun stuff.
Of
Uh,
course.
so or yes, that. Uh, So, yeah, I'm trying to make sure. I oh,
If you want to save the
the
questions, then maybe just write them down on some paper. Hmm.
yeah, no, I have them right here. It just my phone stopped loading them for a second. I'm like, why? I felt like there was more. And there is. What is one of your favorite fandoms to uh commission out to people, or like that you have a lot of ideas from, or like to kind of help spark with a lot of ideas?
As I said, I think my four favorite fandoms: Marvel, DC, Ben 10, and Star Wars.
Hmm.
And I would say maybe Transformers in there as well, but I haven't commissioned any Transformer stuff yet.
Yeah.
So my five favorite fandoms, and I like to draw ideas from all of them because there's like concepts from each that I really enjoy, and you know, pulling inspiration from multiple sources, it's a better way to describe the character.
Hmm.
Um, I wouldn't say there's like one specific um fandom.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Mm.
Um. So
Like
out
I
of
know
the
for you, like I know for you, you commission a lot of like FNAF stuff, Kamen
yeah,
Rider stuff, Ben 10 stuff. So
yeah.
it's kind of obvious for you like where you draw your your favorites from.
Uh, this wall behind me. Uh, like all friend art made here, and then the masks are all me. Or eh,
That's a lot of
that
masks.
way. Yeah. And then there's
I,
more
I
up
guess
here. You just can't see them.
I guess you're never stuck for Halloween.
Yeah. No. The only issue is which one to pick. Uh, like
Yeah,
that's
it's
like it depends at Jason,
sometimes they
but
say
I was like, go ahead.
sometimes they say too many options are bad for you because it just causes more indecisiveness.
Yeah, I very much agree with that because like it because on screen it stops at the Jason. There we go, Jason
Jason,
mask,
yeah,
and I have like six more masks. No, seven masks more going this way. I have masks that are like just like rubber masks, like they're all stuffed into a container right there. I have Springtrap's head that I made that's in storage. I have too many options, and then I'm like, I need more. Uh,
yeah, yeah. That's like me with shoes. I mean, I have plenty of shoes. I have too many options. Yeah, I want to buy more.
yes, I very much agree with that. Yes.
Hmm.
But yeah, most of the stuff that I commissioned is very much FNAF, Kamen Rider. Most recently, I've been commissioning, Ben 10 stuff, for alternate universe stuff, and my Ruby OCs just got finished by my lovely friend Ashley Bowling or Ash Bowling. They go by both. Um, and like they just finished like my whole team for Team Perp. Uh,
Yeah,
not
I've
not
seen
as in
them.
the not as in like criminals, but as in like purple. But yeah, I love how they came out, and they've been on the show multiple times, and I have talked to them about returning when they get more settled and stuff in life. But yeah, uh, um, I think I think that's gonna be so. Did that one talked about that one? Technically talked about that one. I think we've actually done all of them. Actually, we've been going through them pretty quick. Um,
Messing about. We're getting shit done.
yeah, that is
Yeah,
true. But also some of them are
yeah,
repeat for lists as well.
yeah.
Um,
I get you. I get you.
but yeah, other than like the final questions that are just like in my head, I think that's about it. So yeah,
I just say go ahead. I just say go ahead and ask those.
yeah. And I'm also trying to give people a chance to write in some more as well, which nobody else has said anything. So, first of all, do you have any questions for me as an individual or for the show in general?
Why the name Demon Interviews?
Well, it used to be much fucking longer, and this is like the shortened name. It used to be the people behind the TikTok demons, because we were very fucking focused on that for a while, and we shortened it so then we can a invite more people that isn't just people from TikTok who also have like demon characters. And now it's like it's much shorter and much better.
Yeah.
uh yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to ask?
Uh, I'm trying to think. Where did Springy come from?
Oh, that's actually a fun story. That the last question, this question, I've never been asked it before. So Springy actually came from shockingly Springtrap. I know it's fucking shocking, but it was because I was in a Minecraft roleplay, like I just like it was in Minecraft, and we're on this like FNAF map server, and my skin 98% of the time is what I call anime boy Springtrap. Because it's just like human Springtrap, but it's just drawn in more of an anime-esque style from what I've seen and what my skin looks like. So that's just why I call him. I even cosplay him. And I was mainly role playing with one person who was being a female Golden Freddy skin. I don't know if they were actually a girl or not. I don't fucking know. But they were called Goldie. I was called Springy, and it just kind of stuck. And anytime I needed a name, I was like, it just most of the time I talking about FNAF anyway. Might as well just stick with it, you know?
Fair enough. That's usually how it happened with me with Mana Rider. It literally just stuck.
Yeah, just stuck, and I've been loving FNAF before that and after it. So and Springtrap's still my favorite character, so it works.
Fair enough.
Um,
Fair enough. You
is
know,
it
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
exactly 100%? Um,
Uh,
so any other questions?
Not that I can think of, but you know what's going to happen when this interview is finished. That's when I'm going to think of like another four.
Hey, I mean, you can always send them. You know where to find me.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so next up is going to be who would you like to see on the show in the future,
Who
other
would I
than
like to
Typhoon?
see in this? Hmm. I would say maybe interviewing Archway Arceo, maybe Crystal Moon 101,
Mm-hmm.
maybe oh, people like Kuro and Ash, because I know they would offer like a very different kind of viewpoint because we talk about things very casually with other people it's very casual, but then they have a much higher view based on like production, drawing, writing. So
Yep.
their views and answers would be much different to what most other people would say.
Yeah, most definitely.
Hmm.
And see, now it's technically two people who want Archway RCO onto the show.
It was Typhoon the other person.
Yeah, I'm running
Okay.
tick marks on the wall. Just just taking this little scraper from my 3D printer and just cutting out paint. Um,
It sounds like you're in a prison cell and you're drawing on the walls.
I am no. Uh, so next question is going to be would you ever like to return to the show in the future, either for another interview like this or for another project?
Of course, but let's leave it some time because there's no point in doing next week or whatever. And I think
Yeah,
um, you know leaving it some time allows for answers to change, it allows for different questions to be asked,
yeah,
and as the channel grows, it would attract a much wider audience, a much bigger audience,
yep.
and meaning more questions, more interactions, and I'm all for that. I'm all for the conversation.
Awesome. Well, last question for today is going to be do you have any questions for a future guest?
I can only answer. I can only go to the guest that you know I've named. Arcio, no questions. I feel like I can ask him anything anyways.
Yeah,
Um, maybe Crystal Moon 101. Where the name Crystal Moon 101 came from, because it's just why 101? Why Crystal and Moon? Obviously, it looks good, but you know,
yeah,
extending beyond that.
yeah.
Um, Kuro and Ash, maybe, obviously this would depend on when you have them on your interviews, but what it's like to be at the forefront of such a massive project that everyone adores.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you handle the pressure? How do you live up to people's expectations? How do you handle people that are disappointed? How do you handle the success?
Yeah, yeah. That'd be a great question to ask. I have to say, I'll make sure I write all those down. And hello, Morgan. I see you. Um, one of my friends. But yeah,
Okay.
because you just said hi. But and sadly, as he joins in, we're done. We're about done. Um, but with that, is there anything else you wish to say?
Um, no, I feel like, we've covered all bases.
Awesome,
Yeah. Just make sure to give me a follow on the links in the description, but that's about it.
awesome. And and they're all there. I literally he sent them to me today, and I copy pasted them into the description, so they are there. And at least and with that we are done. Thank you, Mana, for being here. I highly appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's been a nice time just to, have some conversation, enjoy, this slightly more formal approach, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and thank you all for watching. Thank you, live audience. Thank you, anybody who's watching the recording. And at least I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.